Okay, this video is all about continuing on your online business. If you followed the first video, hopefully you did. If you didn't, you want to go back to the first video that we did. Today's the first of the month, June 1st. So you're in the business and you're making money. You should be making at least the minimums that you're allowed to make. If you look at the last video, you'll see I have availability. I can sell up to $19 million in a month. It takes you a while to get to 19 million. So eBay's only going to allow you 500, and Amazon doesn't have any limitation. As long as you're packing and shipping the stuff on time and you're delivering the product on time, you should be okay. So you can sell more on Amazon to begin with. But now you're into month 2, and you still only have $500. The first thing you do is you call up eBay and try to get somebody on the phone in the United States. If you go to some of the customer services people outside the United States, you're not going to get any money. Why? Because the people that work for companies outside the United States, they just follow a standard policy. It's nothing against them. They're just trying to make a living. India, wherever they happen to be, Mexico, Singapore, they're all over the world, and they're just people doing their job. And sometimes it's a little hard to understand what they're saying, but you want to get to Austin, Texas. That's usually where the customer service, you call them during the day. Don't call them during the week and say, look, go to your eBay, go dig around in there, Google it, and find out how you increase your limit. But you want to talk to somebody about that, because you'll never get your limit increased to 5,000 or 10,000. Ask for 10,000 to 15,000. Just tell eBay, hey, look, I have a lot of product I want to sell, and I really am into this, and you can see by my first 30 days that I've done very well. You want to get the limit increased. So that's how you increase the limit. You got to talk to a human being. Don't just apply online. You'll never get it. Does that make sense? You have to do that. You have to call them up, number one. Usually you have to call everybody up. So let's say you get the increase from 5 to 10,000. So what's the next step? You're in month 2. You've already pulled in 500. Maybe you pulled in 5,000 using Amazon, and you've run out of product. So now you got to go to other people and get the product on consignment and look for small deals that you can purchase and bring in. Okay, so you got to keep the ball rolling. You got to keep bringing product into the fold. Let's go over the 3 or 4 methods that you can bring product in. Number 1, you can use the product that you already have, the stuff that you own around the house that you have to sell. I already went over that. Number 2, you got to go to other people that might have product they want to get rid of. You can go to the relatives. Go to anybody. Hey, Joe, what do you got? What do you mean, what do I got? I got nothing. No, what do you have you want to sell? Oh, I don't want to sell on eBay. No, I'm going to do it for you, and I'm going to take 50% of everything I bring in. 50%? What are you, crazy? Well, then you could do it yourself. No, I'll take the 50. No one wants to do the work, That's the key to the whole business. No one wants to do the work. And that's why you can make money in this business. So if it's easy to do, there's less money in it. We already went over all that in the other video. If you're not clear about what I'm talking about in this video, you got to go to the first video. This is video number 2 in running your online business. Okay? So now you have to hunt around. I'll give you a quick story. So I'm hunting around. I'm in Ethiopia. I come back from Ethiopia. I'm broke. Because it's 2009. I'm stuck in Ethiopia. I married my wife in Ethiopia. I got to bring her back to the United States of America. Now it's 2010. June 4th, I landed. Can you believe it? June 4th, I was there for like 7 or 8 months. I even had a Ethiopian yellow card. They don't call them green cards over there. They call them yellow cards. Someone kicked in my front door. I'm living in Austin, Texas, North Austin. Actually in a city called Round Rock. Beautiful town. Right next to Austin. It's like Austin's two streets over. And I'm sitting there and I'm going, wow. They kicked my door in. I basically don't have any money. The only money I had was the money that I had sent to my wife for 12 months before I went over and got her. So we have that money. We have practically no money. And she's pregnant. We're out of dough. It's like, I don't know, June 4th, right? So my wife says, well, why don't we, I says, well, I got to go get a job. So I go get a job. I become a branch manager at a bank called IBC, International Bank of Commerce, IBC in Texas. So I'm a branch manager like in 2 minutes. They hire me. They hire and fire people like crazy. So I'm running the bank and I'm saying, this is crazy. This is miserable. I even was delivering bread at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I own a Sara Lee franchise. And here I am, I'm like 50 years old, 55 years old, or whatever, how old I am, 56. And I'm out there delivering bread. So I told my wife, I said, I can't do this shit anymore. She says, why don't you just go back to what you were doing before? I says, what do you mean? You were buying and selling things, products, mostly technology. I says, really? She goes, yeah, but we'll do it online. A revelation. So now it's 2010. So I says, oh, okay. Well, I'm not really an online guy. I'm like an old guy. I'm just old school bullshit, So she says, no, we're going to do it online. She goes, I'll help you do it. All of a sudden, we're selling $500 in the first month. So then we go into the second month. I says, well, I need more product. Let me call up some local guys, like recyclers. That's where I got most of my product in the old days. So I called recycling companies. What's a recycler? Well, they call them e-cyclers. So an e-cycler is somebody that takes the technology from people, like universities, when they just don't want the technology anymore. Say it's Apple iPads or phones or whatever it is, or companies. So there's millions of companies in the United States, especially the big ones. I just got a bunch of stuff from Kaiser Permanente. But I didn't get it. I got it from the recycling company because they have to be certified. So why do you go to recycling companies? Because companies only trust recycling companies because they're licensed and they have to clean all the data. So it's all about cleaning all the information on the phones, on the laptops, the desktops, the tablets, which is what I'm interested in. I didn't know that at the time. So I start calling some guys that are local in Round Rock or North Austin. Got one guy on the phone, Armando. He says, yeah, I got a bunch of stuff. He says, I don't have any tablets or anything like that or computers, but come on down, I have a bunch of cameras. I says, oh, okay. So I tell my wife, I says, let's go down there together and check this guy out. He says he has a bunch of cameras. So we got in there and he's got like about 50, 60 cameras. We have like $250 to our name. That's all we have, $250. I don't even think we had that much. So before I go down there, I call my banker. His name is Joe. And he's over at Frost Bank. I say, hey, Joe. I says, I don't have any dough. I says, you have any ideas? He says, yeah, just go overdraft. I'll cover you. I says, how much will you cover me up to? He says, I cover you up to like $250, $500. I says, no shit, really? He goes, yeah, you just get overdraft protection. I says, oh, that's fantastic. So we go down there. So now we're like armed with like $500, $600, $700. The $250 that we had, that's all we had is $250. We buy all his cameras for like, I don't know, he had like 60 or 70 of them. We paid like $10. We didn't even buy all of them. If I recall, we bought like half of them. We bought like 40 of them. We go home. My wife checks the cameras. They were all good cameras. They're digital cameras like Sony, Nikon, Canon. We sell the cameras for like $35, $40. Quick. Bing, 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 bing. And we're selling them on eBay because we ran out of the $500. But before we listed the product, I had to call eBay up, and I called this guy up and I said, hey, I got all this product. I got to sell this product. We're in business. We're going through the financial recession here. You got to help me out. He goes, yeah, sure. What do you want? I says, give me 20 grand. He's like, I can't give you 20. I'll give you 10,000. So he increases my line from 500 to 10 grand. Oh, mamma mia. So all of a sudden I start selling the cameras. I call up Armando. I say, shit. I says, I want the rest of the cameras. He says, yeah, you know what I found? Besides I had those cameras, I'll sell you the rest of the cameras, which is another 30 cameras. We had like 40, we had 75 or whatever he had, 35. He goes, I got a lot of Sony, Nikon, all the big brand name battery chargers. They're like little chargers. And they're just with their brand. Because don't forget, I don't know at the time that I want big brand name products, but I'm kind of thinking, who the hell wants to buy generic shit, right? So I go down there and I say, wow, now don't forget, we have maybe $700, $800, $900 or whatever the hell we have. He has like 500 of them, of these chargers. He doesn't even know how many he has. Why does he want to sell us this stuff so cheap? Because he is in the cell phone business. And for these big recycling companies, and it applies to any industry that you're in, they sometimes have to take everything that they don't want. So when they go to the school or they go to the university, for example, or they go to the government agency, or they go to a corporation, Xerox or whatever corporation they're going to, General Motors, because these companies don't usually buy the stuff. They usually lease it. And then at the end of the lease, they got to get rid of it. So who do they call? They call the recyclers. And I'll give you a link of 1,000 recycles. Just go to the link underneath, and don't forget to comment and watch the rest of the video. You're actually going to learn something, how to run these businesses. This business I've been in for 35 years. But only since 2010, 2011 did I do it online, and that's when it became really a lot of fun. So anyways, I go back to Armando, and I said, I'll give you $1. Now, these charges are worth like 30, 40 bucks. We estimated they were worth 20. He goes, nah, I can't sell them to you for $1. I'll give them to you for like $3. I says, I'll tell you what, I'll buy half of them now and give me the other half. He goes, okay. We go and get the chargers. We bring them back. They're all new. They're like brand new chargers. We start listing them like crazy because don't forget, eBay gave me a $10,000 line. I could sell them on eBay. Wasn't even thinking of Amazon. Didn't even have an Amazon account back then. We didn't sign up with Amazon until later. My wife thought of all that stuff. I didn't think of it. And we start banging these things out. All of a sudden, we got 500, 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, 2,500, 3,000. And don't forget, in those days, eBay was linked to PayPal, so the money would go from eBay to PayPal, PayPal to us. In the old days, PayPal would make you wait like 3 days, so we had to jerk around for 3 days until they cleared it because they want to make sure that you ship the stuff and that you weren't lying and cheating and stealing. But while we're selling all this stuff, we're getting 5-star ratings because our product is brand new. So you have to go out and hunt around. You have to make some phone calls. You have to make inquiries. Go to Goodwill stores. That's a great place to get an education. I'm not saying to buy from Goodwill stores because Goodwill stores have already figured it out. You can go to the Salvation Army. I bought stuff from Salvation Army. I bought stuff from Goodwill. I went into one Goodwill store in Los Angeles years ago. And I look around and I see this painting over in the corner, and it's Evan Earl. Evan Earl. I put who Evan Earl was. Evan Earl was the guy that did all the cartoons for Disney. He was the graphic painter, and it was a signed lithograph from Evan Earl, and it said it didn't even have a price on it, but everything in the pile was like $10. I pick up the Evan Earl and I says, "Holy crap! This is an Evan Earl. This thing's got to be worth $5,000." You know, so you never know what you're going to find. It wasn't worth $5,000 because it had some defects in it, and I needed the cash, so I sold it for $500. I paid $20 for it. $500 for $20. Had some paint imperfections in there. God knows what it's worth. Evan Earl's passed away. What's the point? The point is you have to make it your mission to go out there and hunt around and look for stuff. I brought Armando's chargers in, and Armando's chargers, those stupid battery chargers for cameras, Nikon, Sony, that led me into kind of the camera business. I didn't want to be in the camera business, but it didn't really make any difference because it didn't take much to check them. Matter of fact, most of them were new. We didn't even check them. We just listed them and sold them. So that's number one. You got to hunt around. Number two, when you list product anywhere, whether it's eBay, Amazon, or any of these other major platforms, you have to be 100% accurate. You cannot embellish, which is a fancy word for lying, about what it is that you have. If it's used, it's used. If it's brand new, it's got to be sealed in the box. Don't lie to anybody about anything. And this isn't a discussion about moral issues either. This just is common sense. If you want to build a long-lasting business and have what we have is 8,000, 9,000 customers and customers all over the country that will buy directly from us and just wire transfer money in like that, 10, 15, 20 grand, you're going to have to build it over time. So once you increase your line of credit, that's number one, with these online e-commerce platforms, would be eBay's, Amazon, whatever. Amazon, you don't have to do anything. You just have to continue to do what you're supposed to do, is not lie, cheat, and steal, and ship your product within 24 hours. That's number one. So you got to go out there, increase your line. Number two, you have to hunt around and looking for guys like Armando. I bought stuff from the University of Texas while I was in Texas. You just have to sometimes make phone calls, knock on doors, walk around, go to your local library. I used to buy books for $1 and sell them for 10 to 15 to 20 bucks, first edition books. So you got to go do some hunting. You know, if you have some questions or anything, just comment down below. I'll tell you what I think. I only know mostly technology, but I used to go to coin stores. I would go into coin stores and buy Morgan silver dollars that were kind of like not really good silver dollars. So we kind of like sold them for the content of the silver. I'd buy them from this guy for like 15, 20 bucks, and I'd sell them for $35. After about 3 or 4 months of going in and cleaning them out of hundreds of coins, he finally came to the conclusion. He brought another guy in. He stopped selling them to me. Why? He started listing them, selling them himself. He wanted only the cream of the cream coins. He was in Austin, Texas, too. I don't remember the name of the guy. But those guys fed us. Then one day, while I realized that we were in the camera business, I called up some company on the East Coast. I found them, I think, on eBay. I don't remember where I found them. And they had 6,000 digital cameras. 6,000 of them. And I bought them. I didn't have the 6,000 to begin with, so I had to go and accumulate. But I had been accumulating the cash because this is number 3 or number 4. Your money in your business increases really rapid when you're doing something that not everybody else is doing. So by doing your thing, which is this thing that I'm talking to you about, you'll see that your business increases rapidly. Why? Because not that many people want to do what I do. It's too much of a pain in the ass for them. They just don't want to do it. They want the easy way, easy road to riches. There is no easy road to riches. Don't bullshit yourself. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. You know, you think these guys that are making all this money on Bitcoin and all this crap, Bitcoin's down to $3,500. 35,000, I'm sorry. 35. I don't know what it is today. It was up to 65. That means guys that put all their money up at 50 and 60, thought they were going to make a ton of dough, and then leveraged their money 2 and 3 to 1. They've lost all their money. They're broke. You think you can play that game and actually make money at it? You only read about 1 or 2 guys, and it's no way to prove that you're making money at it. So stay with this business. Walk through this business with me. I'll walk you through it. And you can comment. You can even send me emails. I'll put my email link down there too. Maddis, M-A-D-D-I-S, at hemispheres.com. Just say, hey, Mike, what do you think of this idea? Or comment on it. I'll comment on this YouTube site that we're doing all this stuff on. You get it? So then you're moving along, and so then let's get back to the guy at the East Coast. He has the cameras, and I buy the cameras for $1. I end up selling them for $30, $40. So for a $6,000 bet, he actually sent them to me on consignment, the first 1,000. He sent me 1,000 cameras. I said, well, send me the cameras. I'll pay you for the freight. He just wanted to get rid of them. Why did he want to get rid of 6,000 digital cameras? Because he wasn't in the digital camera business. He was in those big, beautiful cameras, the EOSs and all those fancy ones that they sell for $400 and $500. He didn't want to be in that business. Why did he end up with the digitals? Because when he went to the company that sold them all, maybe he went to a big camera seller, like big camera sellers in New York. They said, well, I won't sell you these fancy cameras that you really want unless you buy all the digitals. Don't you get that? So a lot of people that have stuff that you and I want is stuff that they had to take in order to get the cream that they wanted, because everybody wants the cream. No one wants the leftovers. Okay, I know it's a corny saying, but one man's trash is another man's gold. Or one woman's trash is another woman's gold. These guys that come around from waste management, they make a fortune picking up your junk, your trash, your garbage. The guy that founded Waste Management is Wayne Huizenga. He made so much money picking it up, he created another company called Blockbuster Video, and then he bought part of Miami Dolphins football team. Wayne Huizenga. Check that dude out. He's a crazy motherfucker. Crazy dude. Very rich. He's passed away. Anyway, so what's the bottom line? Go through the top 3. You're up and you're running. You got to increase your lines with the sellers, because the e-commerce sellers, they don't believe that you can actually handle a greater amount. You have to prove to them. Number 2, go out and search around, like I searched around for Armando, or the guy with the cameras. Can't remember the company's name. Steve, or whatever his name. I don't remember his name. It was years ago. So you got to search around and find those guys. Just like 10 days ago, I found another supplier, and I bought 340 computers from them. They came in, tablets. Beautiful. Apple's arriving today. I got the Surfaces at Surface Pro 3s and 4s. Beautiful. Way better than he had told me that they were. That doesn't usually happen. Usually it's not as good as they say. So you got to search around. Make it your mission to go out and find stuff. Then you have to bring the stuff in and list it and tell the truth. Take 2 or 3 or 4 pictures. The more pictures you take, do things that other people don't want to do. Work. That's called work. Okay? Check out the links below. We'll give you some ideas and sign up for my free ebook. It's just free. Why am I telling you to sign up? Because when you read the book, it's only 230 pages and it's free. I'll send you the freaking book. I'll direct you to a link, which is one of my landing pages, and I have 75 blog or 80 blog posts and all kinds of videos, YouTube videos, and all kinds of stuff. You can go check that stuff out. But reading the book tells you the actual blow-by-blow description of what I did in order to build the business from scratch, and you can still do it today. It's much easier today than it was back in the 80s. Because don't forget, I redid this when I came back from Ethiopia in 2010, 2011. My wife told me, why don't you go online?